So grab your spot right now. There should be we should sell out right now. It's pretty easy, right? I had someone be like, I don't know if I'm coming. Well, I don't know if I'm checking, so just gonna be honest. So take your free spot while you can. Other than that, we have, so this is put on by Orlando Real Producers. A lot of you guys know what we are, what we do. We have a magazine and a group for the top 500 real estate agents in Greater Orlando. And the goal each month is to let them teach how they got there. Shh, I'm still up here, guys. So basically, we have a whole bunch of sponsors. There's about 80 of them. They're vetted. They're all referred by other top 500 agents. So if you meet a vendor in this room, any vendor in this room, it means that they are there on purpose. They are super legit, and you should probably get to know them for your business. So we've got a handful of them stepped up extra to make today happen and make all the food happen. Can we give them a round of applause? Can we give a round of applause to Harry Buffalo for the chicken and waffles? I'm going to let a bunch of our sponsors come up. They're going to get literally 60 seconds each to just tell you who they are and what they do. Make sure you follow them and like them and connect with them later because 60 seconds isn't very long. Thank you, guys. Let's go.
All right, I'm Cameron Foster with Old Republic Home Protection. Right now in the state of Florida, Old Republic has one of the most cost-effective warranties in the state of Florida. When you're comparing home warranty companies, don't just look at the price, look at the limits of liability and also the coverage. For instance, air conditioning systems. We cover unlimited air conditionings with no cap on what we will pay for a new system. Also, if you do not get a warranty at closing, you can get one up to 30 days after closing with no penalty. Give me a call. Thanks.
Flick the bottom. Yours probably off.
Can you hear me? All right.
Now you're good.
It works better when it's on. My name's 𝗖𝗿𝗄𝘁𝗶H. I'm a loan originator with Home First Lending. I'm in my 11th year with the company. Many of you know Zach and Ryan. They're usually here. They were unavailable, so you got the sloppy seconds today. But we're a full-service mortgage broker. Jocelyn's floating around somewhere here as well. Zach warned me that Aaron's 60-second rule is very serious, so I will get out of here very quickly. But we do have over 50 investors in our network. Our goal is to be the one-stop shop, so we have a lot of different loan options for your clients, and we feel that the right partners right now is very crucial. We know that things have shifted, and it'll probably be a little bit difficult for a while. So our goal is to partner with the top professionals, and we would love the opportunity to work with you.
All right.
Good morning, guys. Brandon Blake with the staging company. Staging is back. We're seeing days on market start to go up, price drops starting to happen. In Texas, we're doing like 15 stagings a week, and we're doing like 11 to 12 here in Florida. So it's crazy. We've just seen a huge jump. So staging's relevant again, and we love it. Not all staging companies are created equal, right? Anybody can make your $500,000 listing look like a $250,000 listing. We'll make it look like a $700,000 listing. So interior decorating for vacation rental investors, whatever, we can do it all. If we're not your first call, please make us your second call, and we'll get it done for you.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. Are you guys nice and awake? Had your coffee? Kind of? Okay, I know I'm still drinking mine. My name is Jen with Celebration Title Group, where it's more than just our title, it's our mantra, I like to say. As you know, we are the OGs of the confetti closing experience, but the confetti closing is really the sprinkle on top, I like to say, because we offer so much value for you guys. We want to help edify you and grow you to be that expert advisor in your market. Whether you're needing a marketing assistance, have legal questions to talk to our attorney, or even starting to work with clients that do crypto, we are certified and have already done crypto closings. We provide so much value for you guys, but I would really love to sit with you one-on-one to find out what it is that you're looking for to grow in your market. Now, I do have a question, or an ask, I should say. We are doing a competition within our company, and I love a good competition. I know a lot of you guys are very competitive and like to win. Who doesn't like to win, right? So I'm asking for your help, because I like to win too. So we have a competition that ends this Friday, and this is what I'm asking for your help to do. If you are not following us on our Celebration Title Group page, pull out your phones and go onto Instagram and type in Celebration Title Group. Go ahead and hit that follow button, and then direct message us and type in Jen. So whoever puts in that their entry is going to be entered to win for either a lifestyle shoot or a free listing shoot for their next upcoming listing. So go ahead, even if you are already following us, just direct message Jen, and you'll be entered to win for either a lifestyle shoot or a
that's
listing
Celebration
photo.
Title Group. Let's give them
Thank
a
you,
round of
guys.
applause.
Good morning, my name is David Buckles. I'm with Reliant Home Offer. No, I'm kidding. David Buckles, Reliant Home Offer. We're a local real estate investment company here in Central Florida, and we buy houses, right? We're not lowballers, we're the actual real investors. And this year we've purchased 9 different properties from realtors like you guys, right? So what we can do for you guys, we specialize in creative finance and fix and flips. With this market shift happening, we've already seen an 800% increase in foreclosures since January nationwide. I'm a buyer for those deals. We can help stop foreclosure. We can take over payments and help short sales. We can put money in your seller's pockets. So if you have an ugly house or someone who's in ugly times, we can help. David Buckles, Reliant Home Offer. Thank you.
All right. And let's also, I know Heather Hurry didn't want to risk. She was around someone that might have COVID, so she's not here today. Let's give her with the Heather Hurry with the Jeff Mackey team at Pillar to Post a 1, 2, 3 clap on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's keep this going. You know, we might as well do one for the home team. The home team's now Home Team Mortgage, and let's give them a 1, 2, 3 clap. 1, 2, 3. Now let's go.
Great. Good morning. I'm Steve Bell with Harding Bell International. We are a full-service CPA firm that specializes in anything that you guys do. Real estate agents, working with your investors, helping with capital gains, talking about them the best way to purchase property. Also work with property management companies. So really kind of anything property related is our thing. We're fairly new, only been here in Orlando for 22 years plus. So that's a joke, but I'm not going to quit my day job. Anyways, happy to be here. We're here, really want to be a support for you guys. We want to be your trusted CPA firm. Even if we don't do your tax, we would love to help you and your clients, and that's what we're here for. We're happy to be a part of this.
Love it. And the coffee today, as always, the coffee was brought by Vic DeVore from DeVore Design.
Happy to do it. Hopefully everybody's getting amped up on some caffeine. So I'm going to ask you real quick, take your phone out, put your camera on. I'm going to do a social media experiment right now. This is going to be super fast. Don't worry, Aaron. I won't get clawed off stage. So, hey, Vic DeVore here. We're at Orlando Masterclass, and everybody that's in the room right now, I want you to take a picture of me right now talking up on stage. Take a picture. I want you to tag DeVore Design on either Facebook or Instagram, and I'm going to send you a promo code for our services, photos, video, and home staging, for $50. So go ahead, do it now. Take a picture. Cheese, hello, hi, good to see you. Tag DeVore Design on Instagram or Facebook for $50. We'll send you a promo code. And let's hear a round of applause for Aaron for putting this thing together.
Love it. Love it. All right, a couple quick people I want to give a shout out to. Let's give a shout out to Marlise with Orlando Estate Sales Ladies. Let's give her a round of applause. She's here as well. We got Shay Walker with Shay Walker Photography. Let's give her a 1, 2, 3 clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. We also, RTR Title's not here right now, so let's give them a 1, 2, 3. And other supporting sponsors, we got Rusty. We got a whole bunch of, we got HWA, we got Tammy Birchler, and you'll see them all on the slide. So just take pictures of the slides. In fact, here's what I'll do. If you take a picture of the slide that says supporting sponsors or any of the sponsor slides and you use the hashtag MasterclassOrlando, I'll give 3 different people $50 cash that we pick off of social media. You can put on Instagram, Facebook. We'll make it 4 people. I'll give out $200. So just all you got to do is shout out the sponsors, tag them. It's that post right there. Let's get this thing started. You guys ready to roll? Yep. All right, hopefully we got everybody here. Let's start with our first panelist who came the furthest today. Loretta Maimone is well known as the one to get it done in Central Florida's Lake Country. As a 40-year resident of Lake County, Loretta is active in the community and assisting selling real estate since 2007. She has her finger on the pulse of the community she serves, and she freely shares that knowledge. What she doesn't have in her bio is she sold over $35 million last year, but also she gave away literally tens of millions of dollars to other people because she stays so busy with her own sphere and her own people that she refers out strangers and people that she doesn't know. She gives them to new and up-and-coming agents, and they go sell millions of dollars because she generates that many leads. Is that pretty amazing? Is that pretty amazing? So she's not all about the numbers, but I looked it up. She sold at least 35 million last year, which is absolutely phenomenal. She stays in the Mount Dora and surrounding areas, and she prides herself in being dedicated to their well-being and having her clients be able to rely on her. So let's give a giant round of applause to Loretta. All right. Then we've got Jenn Carlisle. She's a 16-year real estate agent. She's made our top 500 literally every single year. We started doing it from 2016 data. She's a top 2% in the Orlando area for the top 10%, for the past 10 years. I can't read today. She's with 𝗖𝗿𝗄𝘁. She's one of the top 5 in the nation, or in the state, and top 50 in the nation. She's now with 𝗖𝗿𝗄𝘁𝗶Hy, and she's a certified residential specialist held by only 2% of agents. She has no assistant, no buyer or selling agent, no transaction coordinator, and she does at least 40, 50 deals every single year by herself, mostly based from referrals and repeat business. Let's give a giant round of applause to Jenn Carlisle. Lee Goldberg is one of the most successful realtors in the country, better known as Goldberg the Realtor. Lee has been in real estate for over 10 years. Last year alone, he sold 100-plus homes and over $45 million in residential transactions. That's here in Greater Orlando, because he actually sold another $5 million plus in Las Vegas. Is that pretty crazy? I think that's pretty cool. It's a few time zones away. You may have seen Goldberg the Realtor on TV, heard him on the radio, where he's frequently invited as a national real estate contributor. He's been on Fox News, Fox Business, several radio programs, a former sports anchor and TV guy. But anyway, he splits his time 50-50 between Orlando and Vegas, and despite working 2 states, he's so fast to reply to his clients, he says that you'll have no idea which time zone he is in. Let's give a giant round of applause to the #1 Coldwell Banker team from the #1 office, to Lee Goldberg. And then I think Jenny's here. Is Jenny here yet? Oh, yep, she's right here. Jenny doesn't need a long introduction, but Jenny Wemert comes from a teaching background, got into real estate, and her team has just absolutely grown by leaps and bounds. There's over 35 people, is that right? 35 people that have been there for 35 people on her team, not that are on her team. 35 have been there for 5 years or more. There's how many people on the team now? 90 people on the team, selling over 1,000 homes a year, over $350 million, and absolutely crushing with repeat business and referral. Let's give a giant round of applause to Jenny Wemert, the Wemert Group Realty. All right, so let's start. I'll start with you, Loretta, if that's cool. Let's talk about how you got into the business in the first place, and what you started to like. What I'd love to hear is when you started to really get traction in the business. What were you doing, and when was it?
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. And then one just quick reminder, because Dave gets mad, I always forget this, just to make sure you speak into the mics. There's like a massive difference if people hold them away from their face. So you want to hold it really close.
Okay. I moved to Orlando in 1980 and worked in retirement communities. And then I met my husband on a blind date, and the rest is history. I moved to Eustis, Florida. So the communities, it was 13 of them, sold to a real estate investment group. So then I bought a FedEx and UPS business. My background is restaurant, though. Love the restaurant business, guys. So anyway, so I kind of sold the FedEx and UPS business, and I had a lot of exposure. A lot of people knew me. So I got my real estate license again in 2006 and hit the ground running when the market was crashing in 2007. But I participated a lot in the community. Everybody knew me because of the FedEx and UPS business. And like I said, I just hit the ground running. I've always increased my volume every year.
Can we talk about what kind of things you do in the community? Since you talked about it, give them some examples of what that actually means.
Okay, I'm actively involved in Rotary. Rotary's huge. I do a lot of community involvement. One year I sponsored the entire robotics team budget. One year I did the Eustis High School jazz band budget. And that just gets you a lot of exposure, but you do it from the heart. You don't do it as a money generator. You do it from the heart. Whatever, be real, and it all comes back to you. But don't do it because it's the money.
Love it. Let's get to you, Jen. How did you get started, and when did you first start seeing traction? What were you doing, and when what?
So a similar story. I was teaching high school, and my son got to the age where he couldn't be home alone, so I had to switch jobs because I left for work so early. And I had an investor group that was tired of paying realtors because they didn't do anything. And so they wanted me to become their realtor. So that's how I got into it in 2006. Sold the first house for them very easily. I made more than all of them. And they still didn't like the realtors because we didn't do anything. But at that time, I was working for Gold's Gym full-time, managing about 100 instructors, and thought, I worked too hard for this license. I'm going to do it full-time, and just took off from there right as the market was crashing. Great timing.
And Lee, how about you?
Mine also involves a gym. These days, I know a gym. He's like 6'4", it's the closest I'll come to a gym. I was doing radio with Gary Cole, who was my real estate partner for a long time, and one of our sponsors was a gym downtown, Bodies by Mahmood, and we were in the shower together, separate stalls, and there's anything wrong with it. And he's like, you should go to real estate, and I also had a peanut company at that time called Papa D's Nuts, and we were in every 7-Eleven in Florida, but it was going south. I saw what was going on. And he's like, why are you selling peanuts when you should be selling homes, making a lot of money, versus literally peanuts? I'm like, aha. And so it was an absolutely terrible time to get into the business, but I did, and here we are. Is that the question of how I started?
Yep, that was it. Jenny. How did you get
It was 2014 before, it took me, first 2 years, I was like an undercover agent. I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. And I was just trying to figure it out. And then 2014, I sold 14 million, not knowing what I was doing. And that's when things started moving.
What were you doing that year that you think?
Oh,
made a
yeah.
difference?
So I was doing a ton of events, food truck events, anywhere. Anything I tell all my agents is you just got to get out there, by just exactly what you were doing. Just being out there and being active and doing it from the heart and being genuine and just trying to help. I would do the Windermere food trucks. That would cost me $500. And this was at a time I did not have a lot of money at all. I spent $500 just to be there, and then I spent another $300 on a face painter. But it was genius because in order to get your face painted, your parents had to sign you in. So I had a tablet, I collected all their data, and I did it for well over a year. I spent a lot of money, sold a couple homes out of it, but it got me so much exposure for business down the line that came.
I was a 7th grade teacher out of college and did that for 7 years, and then I realized that it was a great job. It felt very noble, but I realized I wasn't fulfilling there was a hole in me. I needed that competitive nature. I needed feedback faster. So went into real estate, and soon after I started into real estate, got pregnant with our triplets, had our babies, and moved to Orlando, Florida. So I started in Texas, moved to Orlando, Florida. And so my first year selling real estate in Florida, I thought, I need something in my planner. I can't just sit at home and change diapers all day. I was going crazy. So I'm like, I'm gonna do real estate, but I'm just gonna do it in my own community. So I'd put my kids in the stroller, and I would go out and I'd meet the neighbors, and I would start events, and I just built a community that I wanted to live in. And so we threw Easter egg hunts and Halloween events and bunco and moms groups and anything I could do to get out of my house with my kids. And what I found is by building that community and being authentic and living in my priorities, I attracted business. And that one community of 400 homes back in 2005, I would say, we got up to about 85% market share. And then the market crashed, obviously, and I lost it due to the REO. But now that community doesn't turn over very much. But in the last, what are we now? 20 years later, that we have like 6 listings in that community right now because they still call us because I have a connection in there. They've watched my kids grow up. I've watched their kids grow up. And so those relationships pay off in the long run. But that one community launched me into the monstrosity that we have now.
Can you talk about the monstrosity you have now and actually maybe extrapolate Talk about how that launched you into where you are now, maybe like how it led to it and what that looks like today.
So we went into the, oh geez, I mean, you know, if we got 20, that's 20 years of crazy, but we did the one community, and I realized that worked, right? There was a formula there. We did monthly newsletters. I would throw 3 parties a year. You know, there was a formula there. We did garage sales. I realized I could pick that up and drop it into another community if I could get some, you know, attention from the HOA, or if I sold a home into that community, I had an in on that community. So we just started rinsing and repeating and doing farming. Now, remember, this is back in the early 2000s. We did farming, and it worked. But then along comes the internet, and Realtor.com and Zillow were, you know, if somebody went on Google and said, where's the realtor for 32828, I needed to make sure I was protected there, because if they missed my newsletter, they need to see me online as well. So I started protecting our name in the, you know, Zillow, Realtor.com, started buying those zip codes. Fast forward ahead, all of a sudden I started getting leads, and I'm like, oh my God, this is too many. Do we turn it off, or do we grow and go through that ceiling and hire agents to work the leads? And we just kept choosing to go forward. And if we needed agents, we hired agents. If we needed admin to support the agents, we hire admin. And that's still what we're doing today. We only hire if we have enough leads to support a family. But we do encourage all of our agents to, you know, build that community and build that database, because that's the core of their businesses.
Can you say that one part again that you just said about you only hire
Probably
if
not.
what? Because I think that was a nugget that some people might have
What
missed.
part? What part?
About you only hire if you have enough leads to.
Oh, well, you know, that's controversial. But it's just the approach we've always taken, that if I'm going to invite somebody to our team, I want to make sure that my umbrella is big enough and I have enough structure and opportunity for them to feed their family. Because when somebody joins our team, I look at their family as if they're mine, and I got to put their kids through college. So that's how I approach it.
That's awesome. Lee, let's talk about what your team looks like today and what you do to market it and to your sphere, to your community, that type of stuff. You do a ton of stuff. So
yeah.
What has the food trucks developed into?
Well, we did a lot of the same things Jenny's done in multiple communities. You know, now we've got, 21 in the Gold Rush group in Coldwell Banker, another 10 in Las Vegas, and a couple throughout the country. The things that I teach everyone is honestly just getting out once again and doing the farming and also the digital farming and doing everything that you're supposed to do. If you're just sitting at home and doing nothing, and by the way, congrats for everyone showing up today. Seriously, a round of applause, because the 2 things I say to be successful in this business, some of my agents are here, right, are what? Is show up and follow up, right? You're here. Now the follow-up part is take anything that you've learned from us today and actually go and do, because it's so simple to the time that you're just sitting at home or sitting in the office or whatever you're doing, is going out and doing and thinking about how can you, in your community that you live, how can you touch people in there, right? And say, where I live in Summer Lake and Winter Garden, Horizon West, like you, how you've owned that area, I don't want to say I own it, but in that community I've sold over 100 homes, and it's only been around like 6 or 7 years. And people know me. I do the newsletters. I don't have to farm as much anymore. But for someone like Amber, who's newer to the business, I said, listen, go farm it. Use my name. Go and go see what you can do. And she's had success. And now some of the other realtors are doing. There's 1,400 homes in there. There's, 10,000 homes in that whole entire area. So it's all about is just peeling back the layer of the onion, figure out what do you like? What do you want to do? How do you want to spend your time? Right? Because not everyone wants to make phone calls, and I don't cold call anymore. You can. There's ways to do it, but there's so many other things to do, and it's all about relationships. It's all about interaction. It's all about growing those relationships and bonding, and then taking it and holding on to it, and then growing it even further, and then getting the referral after referral and referral. And that's how I built this. I built this by, 1, doing a good job. Number 2, never putting my commission first, and always making it about the customer, because when you do that, the real estate gods, they're going to shine down on you, right? Because when we might not like a 2% commission, but it is what it is. That's the house that they chose, okay? You do that, you're going to get rewarded for it. When you do that, then all the referrals will come after that, and you'll see how much business will come. But all I can tell you is get out and do.
Love it. So, hey, since you started in a new market, can you talk a little bit about how you got started? Like, you had to start from scratch, being a top agent here. You're starting a new place. Where did you start, and what does your team focus on regularly right now to keep growing?
Well, a hurricane put me out of business. I think it was 2016. I felt like it was Irma, but I think I have my names mixed up. But I'm just going with Irma because I think that was 2017. But 2016, there was a hurricane that put all of us out of business for like 6 weeks. I had a bunch of deals that were set to close. Some were VA. They all had to be re-inspected and reappraised, and literally put me in such a bad financial position because while I made good money, I also, we have a lot of expenses, and 6 weeks of not getting paid when you don't plan for it at that time because, I was an idiot, put me in a really bad position. And I said, I will never let that happen again. I needed to find another market. And everyone's like, well, about Tampa or Jacksonville? I'm like, hello, hurricane. So, like, where do I go? And I had an old assistant. She moved to Vegas, and she's like, we just got a hockey team. You should come check out Vegas. I'm like, Vegas? I'm like, I don't drink. I don't party. I don't gamble. Yeah, let's go out to Vegas. And
that explains why we haven't met.
I like to have a fun time. I went out there at a time where financially I should never have done it. I was still, I was living a little paycheck to paycheck. My daughter's in private school, divorced, single dad, a lot of expenses. I had no choice. I had to just figure it out. So I took every cheap flight I could get, last row of the airplane, sneaking on my carry-on bag, every $34 hotel room in Old Vegas that you could think of. And I did that for about 6 trips to figure out, is this something I can do? Is it something I want to do? Vegas is a weird place. It's a small, small town, and people are not very trusting. So in order to break through and to get people to trust you is a very, very tough thing to do. So I did it, and then it eventually started working. And I started using the same principles that I learned from here, which rinse and repeat. You can do the same exact things anywhere. If you live in Lake Mary and you want to go farm in Winter Garden, you can still do it, guys. It doesn't matter. I sell a ton in Brevard County. I drive from Winter Garden to Brevard all the time. And I love it because that car time is so important and special for me, where I could just get in my own head, figure out some marketing, figure out some problems, talk to some realtors, get new business, whatever. So explore and expand those horizons. But now in Vegas, I don't farm like I used to. In fact, I really just, as business comes to me, I'm able to run Florida from Vegas.
Love it.
I've launched a coaching program where I'm based out of there. So for me, it's as it comes. But I did 1.6 last week.
But your people are doing open houses and things like that. Like
Everyone's doing open houses. Everybody is knocking on doors. Everyone is doing Instagram. There's specific things that for me, and not everything that works for me will work for you, and vice versa, right? Some of the things you do won't, like Zillow has never worked for Lee Goldberg for whatever reason, and I wasted so much money. For you, it has. But everyone's doing all the same things.
Love it. Jen, how about you? Where do you spend your time and your marketing efforts?
Yeah, this isn't intimidating being up here with all of this, and I'm all by my little self. So what I do is I farm my sphere 100%. I am on the phone, I am texting, I'm emailing. As I was checking in today, one of my things that I really like to do is the Google Photos pop up in your phone every day. So, oh, look, that guy signed a closing. Send it to him in a text. Look, this was 4 years ago. I'm going to get an answer from him. He's going to remember that. He goes, oh, yeah, whatever. So I 100% do my sphere. This year alone, I just quickly glanced at my numbers. 100% of my listings have been repeat business. 80% of my sales have been either repeat or referred to me by my sphere. So who is in my sphere? People in church, people at the gym, people that I've done business with, people that my kid went to school with, all of that. So for me, and I do think it's very important, one thing that we as realtors do, especially now when there's fewer brick and mortars, get out. Get out of your house. Go to a coffee shop. I know they're loud, but go anyway. Because someone's going to come up. I got business. I think I got business from some guy who overheard me talking. right? And he emailed me the next day. We had a meeting. He's going to move here from Tampa in 4 months. I can wait 4 months for that paycheck. Mama got to eat in 4 months, too. You know, so that's what I do. I'm calling, emailing, texting. I've got a lot of some things are automated from the CRM, all those sorts of things. I do believe in open houses because I sell very relationally. I want to get to know you. I become friends with most of my sphere. I've been to weddings. I've been on vacation with people. My best friend is from Jamaica. We go to Jamaica on vacation. It's like, I'll do that friend all day long. Through Realtor.com, by the way. And so it's just, so open houses are really important to me. They're very important to my business because I meet people face to face. And my thing is, you know, over the phone, you can hang up on me, but if you meet me in person, I'm way too cute. You can't. You can't. And once I get my claws in you, that's it. You're mine. You don't know it yet, but you're mine. So you're my new best friend.
How do you bring people into your database, Jen? Like when you're out and about and you're meeting people, how do you actually get the people from church or from wherever you are? Like where do you go from knowing them in person to getting them in your database? What's that conversation look like?
Well, people eventually, I mean, I don't just go to the church and sit in the pew, right? I am going to formation hour and coffee hour and all that, and we're talking, and people do ask, what do you do? And I said, well, let me show you. Do you have an email address? Boom, that's gold, right? So email address, you're going to get my weekly video on what's going on in the market. That's every week for the last 2 years. On Wednesday, it goes out. And some days I look really good. Yesterday I did it at 2 in the afternoon without a shower or anything. Getting it done is more important than making it perfect. All right, I'm here to be your knowledge broker. I'm here to give you information. So once people ask you, what do? You don't say, I'm a realtor. You know, I make the American dream come true. What's your dream? And it's a lot about asking them questions, getting to know them, because just like we're up here, people like talking about themselves, right? We got 3 kids. Wow, great. And you're in a 2-bedroom place? Wow, that must be hard. Tell me about that. You know, so it's just having conversation, try to have it very naturally. But in your head, you know you're following, at least I follow, a very loose script. I am not a real script person, but I know where I want to go. So how can I get you to go there with me? So if I'm in church, if I'm at the gym, I mean, I told him this morning, man, I got this thing. I'm on this panel with these heavy hitters. I can't concentrate. I taught a class today. I'm like, we got to end early because I got to go get pretty. So everyone in the gym knows this is what I do. I sell real estate. Do you need a house? And yes, I've gotten business from the gym. You know, and I will walk up to people who aren't taking classes from me. I love going through that weight room with those people who are taking the 10-minute breaks. If you can go up and tease someone, like, hey, buddy, you need some help lifting that? That starts a conversation. Just don't be afraid to approach people. If you're the only 2 people in Starbucks, you should make a joke about it and as you walk by and see what they say. See if you get a reaction.
Love it.
Just put yourself out there, and I am an introvert by nature. I'm an extroverted introvert. My preference is to be at home with my dogs on my couch, but once I'm out, I'm going to have fun.
Love it.
So, and you're going to have fun with me.
So speaking of fun, Loretta, let's talk about how you grow your sphere and how you communicate with them.
Well, for sure. I cannot compete with church, the gym, or triplets. I cannot compete there. So this is the way I built my business. I'm a human first, a realtor second. I put myself out there. I put myself out there. I'm a real human being, and then I'm a realtor second. I never promote myself as a realtor, really. I promote myself as a caring human, and then it just kind of comes my way. And
Loretta, can you pull that mic up just a little closer to your mouth?
Okay, and one thing, this is kind of what you do, because everybody wants to know. Everybody says this is what you do, but these are some ideas. I've got one customer, she has 3 grandchildren that she adores. Personally, I don't like them, they're brats. But they call her Gigi. So I was shopping one day and found a picture frame with Gigi. When her birthday came around 6 months later, I dropped it off to her house with the birthday card. I was at a customer appreciation for a local bank. They had a speaker that wrote a book about the Taliban, how they took him down, and I bought 10 books. Last week, I got a listing. He taught history. What do you think I took him as an appreciation for his time? The book. So those are the kind of things you do as you're shopping. Just kind of tuck things away. It will come to you. I've got nurses' candles. I've got teacher candles. And that's kind of what you do. Oh, and the big thing, guys, is before you ever meet someone, if you're going on a listing appointment that was referred to you, please know what they did for a living. If they're an engineer, if they were a doctor, if they were a mechanic. Because believe me, my speech, my talk track is going to be different to the preacher as to the mechanic. I will be colorful with the mechanic. I will not be colorful with the minister. So I just involve a lot of humor in everything that I do. Because I tell you guys, if you can make them laugh, you've nailed it. Every time, you will nail it.
Love it. What about your sphere? What else do you do to keep in touch with them? Because you've been doing this for a while, and you do a ton of repeat business and referral. Like marketing-wise or communication-wise, how often are you sending them? What are you sending them? What are you actually doing to keep in touch with your past?
I do 2 blogs a month that's professionally done. I do 2 blogs. I send out birthday cards. I use my home address. It has no 𝗖𝗪𝗲𝗁. It has no the Maimone Group branding at all. It has my home address. It has a birthday stamp on it. I send Christmas cards, and then I do a Christmas letter and select a charity every single year on behalf of my customers, thanking them for supporting me and being part of my journey. And this is the charity that we chose this year for your benefit, and we contributed a substantial amount of money. I've done food pantries. I've done so many different things. Every year it's something different.
How many past customers are getting your stuff?
Every one of them.
Like, how many people do you think?
I have, last year we delivered Christmas gifts physically to over 300 customers. Because a lot of my customers have moved out of state. These were people that were in. I sold over 1,000 houses. Oh, and the other thing you got to do, guys, is this. Now, I'm not Morgan & Morgan, but I subscribe to all the funeral home notifications. Not because I want to sell them a house, but because I want to take the deceased spouse off my blog and off my email communication. Because nothing would tick me off more than my husband would be dead 6 days and get a blog that, no, it's not good business. So that's what you do. That's the reason I do it. Not to chase the sale, but to keep your database updated.
Love it. Awesome. Let's talk about what you guys plan on doing this year that's different. How are you preparing for any type of shift? What are you expecting, and what is your team doing with regards to what are you communicating, I guess is my real question, to your past clients and your database right now? I'll go to you, Jenny.
Gotcha. Before I answer that, though, I think it's important to hear that every single one of us said authenticity, be yourself, find out what you're passionate about, and go deep on that, right? And then consistency in relationship and database, and the most important thing, too, is giving that great service up front. They will remember you if you give good service. You don't even have to do all this crazy stuff if you gave great service and you stay in front of them as a relationship, because you're in intimate relationships with people, like continue that relationship on. And I don't need somebody to call me every day to be in relationship with them. They could send me a text once a month or every 6 months, and I'm going to still be so happy to hear from them. So I think that's important to wrap up from that first piece, because that's everything. And then it's going to be different for everyone in this room. We're all different because we all have different passions and strengths. So build on who you are, not trying to be somebody else. So going forward, in this market, we have all these secret things that are going to take us into the future. Not true. We're going to do the fundamentals, and we're going to do them better. So the fundamentals are what we just talked about. It's that database. So when you add somebody to your database, do you know their professions? Are you tagging them? And think at some point, you're going to have 300 people in your database, 2,000 people. We have 120,000 people in our database. You got to think about scale at some point. So build that database, tag them. So if I want to go into our database and I want to pull up all our veterans, I can pull up all our veterans and email or send a mailer right now. If you're going to tag your teachers, are you going to tag CPAs, whatever it is, firefighters, you've got to know what you want to calendar to keep up with those people. But it starts with a good database. Get it out of your phone, get it out of Facebook, put it somewhere, organize it, tag it, know who are the people who are giving you referrals, give them more attention, right? It's kind of common knowledge, but I guarantee you probably 8 out of 10 of us in this room don't have a very good database where you could go in and quickly pull lists for me if I ask for them.
I'm one of them.
Yep. So, I mean, we can operate at a high level and do that and get away with it, but at some point you're going to hit the ceiling, and you can't scale that. So we're going back to fundamentals. We're going back to mailers. We're going back to farm our past clients, basically. So, what is your past client plan? They've already used you and loved you and know you. What are you doing to stay in front of them right now? Because people are scared, they're desperate, and they're wanting to sell at the top. And how do we know if we're at the top? When we're on our way down, right? And so everybody is trying to speculate and time the market. They want it, it's probably now. And we're getting calls right now to liquidate, fear, and they're trying to cash in. So you should be in touch with every single person in your database, because that's where your next 2 years is going to come from.
I've been terrible at database. I've been in this business now 12 years. This August will be, I think, 12 years. And until I, joined CB like 2.5 years ago, I didn't really do a great job. And now my assistant puts everything in, and it should still be better in terms of I'm not touching the way you're touching. I should be touching. I don't. But again, what works for me won't work for you, and vice versa. I've just never been that guy. I've never been a huge gift guy, just because I'm not really big. I'm a single dude. If you saw my house, it's a nice house, but it looks like a nice college apartment. My point is I'm not a big, I'm not making gifts. It's just not what I do. But what I do is I give my time, and my time is my most important asset that I can give anybody. And for a lot of my folks, I'll just give them a courtesy text. Like I gave one guy the other day. Haven't talked to him probably a year and a half. It's just, hey, I just passed your neighborhood, which I genuinely did. I'm not going to say I did it if I didn't. That's, again, real estate gods. Don't piss them off. So you got to be genuine in everything you do. And I said, hey, man, I just want to say hi. I haven't talked to you in a while. And by the way, since he's closed, he's given me 2 buyers. He's like, I was just thinking of you. We just talked to a new baseball family. I'm sending him your info as we speak. Now, I haven't heard from him yet, but that was also 48 hours ago, and I know I will because the guy's loyal to me. But by doing little things like that, that's how you'll get more business. For me, it's social media as well. Everyone I come across, it's about Instagram. I don't even hand out cards anymore. It's, hey, just follow me on Instagram, and then they see what I'm doing. And whenever I run into them, they'll be like, oh, whoa, you were just in Vegas, or I just saw you on TLC, or you did this or that. And so people keep up with you. So for me, it's personally social media or my time. And one thing, right before pandemic started, we sent out all these invitations to come on the boat on the Butler chain. Don't steal this idea. Or if you do, just invite me, because I'm not doing it again. Come out for Disney fireworks, have a bottle of wine, if you drink, and watch Disney fireworks at 9 o'clock. And sent out a bunch of invites and had a bunch of yeses, and then everything, the whole world shut down. And then I just went on the boat by myself for 90 straight days. So again, it's all about getting in front of people and touching them. But I'll be the first one in this room to say I probably, for as much volume as I do an awful job, and I probably should do better. But it's just one of those things where we talk about passion and what are you passionate about. I touch them in other ways. They still come back, but I should do better.
You're touching a lot.
Not like that.
We should probably work on those closing
Now
dates.
we know his secret.
Jen.
So I start a lot like Jenny. It is getting back into just old school touches. And if I look at my database, I already mentioned the videos that I send out weekly. That goes out beyond my database. Anyone who I've ever met, whether I've done business with them or not, I can't tell you the thousands, get a weekly video. So that's 52 touches a year. And they do go on Facebook and Instagram. You guys can check them out. But they don't get a lot of traction there. But I had 3 people contact me yesterday, where's my Wednesday video? I need my Jen fix. You know, so it's like, oh, damn, I got to do this thing. So, you know, people are watching. So don't get too involved in they liked it, they watched it, whatever on that. So the other thing I do, there's no one in my database that does not have some sort of an action plan. If I've not met you yet, this is the action plan. If I'm working on you, that I'm nurturing you, this is the action plan. I have a 10-year follow-up plan for anyone that I have sold or have sold property for. You know, whether they purchased or listed. So that's through the database, but definitely working on that database all the time. The other thing, a couple new things that I'm doing, I am really pinpointing a couple neighborhoods. I've talked about it for a year. You're talking about database. I have never really farmed a neighborhood. I farmed my sphere. So I've got 3 neighborhoods picked out. We're working on that now. It'll probably go into effect in the next week or 2. And that will include, beyond postcards and mailers, it's me knocking on doors. I do it. It's hot as hell, all right? But yeah, put your sneaks on and go, put your ponytail way up high.
How do you pick them? How'd you pick the 3? What do they have?
One of them I'm piggybacking off what my broker is already spending money in. I went, well, he's doing it. Why don't I just use his name a little bit and jump on top? So I bought the zip code for Realtor.com. And I do the door knocks around actives, right? We all know that trick. If one house goes active, you knock around, 20 doors. Y'all know that. So that's one. The other 2 are neighborhoods that I've talked for years about doing and never walked in. Like I was always intimidated because, oh, that realtor's working it. Well, you know what? He's old and ugly, so so I'm gonna do it. So that's one thing. And then the last thing, I am a solo agent, but I am in the process of hiring my first agent and looking to expand maybe a little bit. I do not want to be Jenny Wemert. I bow down to you, especially with the triplets. Ow. But I'm, 3 to 5 people would be my tops. That's my sweet spot. What I really like, I love having a mentor. I have several mentors in my life, and some of the people in this room are my mentors. I have reached out to people after events like this. Can I have 10 minutes of your time? And they've all been so gracious. So I do have mentors, and I like to mentor. I love relationship. That's kind of where I get jazzed up and excited, is a deep relationship. So I don't want, it's just not what would fit me at this point in my life. I'm looking for 3 to 5 people and some support systems on top of that. But that's what I'm doing as we go into. One thing I would like to say also, because you asked what we were going to do during this coming downturn, can we not be the fear mongers? Seriously. Oh my God, if we talk it, it becomes true. Is there a shift? Well, guess what? The shift was the last 2 years. That was the shift. Those were incredible. So if we slow down, and oh dear God, I think National Association of Realtors came out with houses are going to be on the market for a month. Oh my Lord, what will we, what's going to happen? We're going to have to do some work, and sad to say, we're going to lose a lot of realtors. Right? All those people picking 1 and 2 deals away from your pocket, they're going away. That's your money.
Anybody sad
Go
about
get
that?
it.
Go for it. Yeah.
So I just did something for a Canadian developer, and Orlando by NAR has been ranked the top fastest growing region in the country. Orlando's been ranked the top fastest growing region in the country by NAR for commercial real estate. That will inevitably trickle into residential real estate. In addition to that, we have 1.2K, 1,200 people moving here every week from around the country. If you go to Redfin Analytics and look at the migration patterns that they have posted, we are booming and growing compared to every other city in the country, losing populace. So take advantage of that. It doesn't matter what's happening in other places in the country. We are going to kill it.
She's absolutely right, guys. The genie is not going back in the bottle. People are moving here. They're not going to stop moving here. They're not going to stop moving to Las Vegas. They're coming to those areas for specific reasons. We know what those obvious reasons are. We don't need to get into that. And more importantly, we live in paradise, okay? And jobs are coming. So what you really want to do is, I shouldn't say this, but I will, go after the areas where the migration is happening and build those relationships with the list agents and go get those buyers before they get here, guys. That's what you should be focusing on as well, not just what's here in our backyard. But we're going to be very healthy in Orlando. The rates are going to be higher, but people are still moving out because they're selling their homes for so much more if they could sell them, though, in those places. So that's the only thing we got to look out for.
So that kind of brings me to the next question that I want to ask Loretta specifically, and then I'll ask the rest of you. Can you talk about the value of the relationship, both with the client, but also the agent that's on the other side of the transaction? And maybe even furthermore, I had someone asking for you to maybe elaborate on what happens when they don't have a relationship on the other side of the transaction.
We need a towel up here.
Yeah,
I'll get
Sorry
about
Clean
that.
up on the stage.
We've had an accident.
Clean up on.
My legs don't reach. It wasn't me.
We'll get you.
I did want to talk about that because we all think that the buyer or the seller is our customer. They're not the only one. Anyone involved in the transaction is your customer. It's the agent on the other side. It's the broker on the other side. It's the lender. It's Cameron with Old Republic Realty. It's all the players. And you never, ever, you respect everybody. You never throw your weight around or treat anybody. You know, the one thing that we always do, Catherine always do, as soon as I get an offer on any of my listings, the first thing I do is go in to see what the volume is for that agent for the past 18 months. You know, so then I know whether to go gentle because they've only sold one or two, to kind of coach them and be a mentor to them and be nice. You know, I mean, I've had agents just be nasty to new agents. It's like, oh my, we were all new agents at one time. And then if I had Jenny on the, I had Jenny on one side, we got along famously because we had a mutual respect for each other. And we treated each other with respect, and the transaction was smooth as get out.
And she gives a closing gift to the agent on the other side that I still have.
Can we talk about closing gifts for a minute? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
We'll hear about your closing gifts. Go ahead, if you want to talk about it.
Oh, Aaron, do you really? Well, I had these glasses made up, but you got to know your audience. I'll tell you this. You would not give a bottle of wine to a recovering alcoholic, which an agent did to one of my closings. Not me, because I knew she was a recovering alcoholic. But anyway, so you got to know your audience. So I had these glasses made up that said, I'm a realtor, therefore I drink. And on the back side, it's easy day, tough day, brutal day. And
I fill mine every day.
because you want to acknowledge the other party, the other agent on the other side. Because without them, we would never have been at the closing table. And I'm indebted to them. And here we are, 4 years later? 4 years later, and we're sitting up here together. As soon as she saw me, she said, we did a deal together. So you never know if you're snotty to someone, karma's a bitch.
It really is. And the thing is that all the good agents know each other, know of each other, have shown homes, have put offer on listings or vice versa. I'm sure we've done a deal together. I think we have. I don't know, but so
you would know.
It's going to happen at some point. So why would you not be a nice person? Like, why be a bully? Now, if someone steps out of line and you've got to, put them in check, then respectfully you'll do that. But people remember, and if Jenny knows that Lee Goldberg is going to present a very strong offer and knows that I'm easy to work with and we're going to be rational versus somebody else who she knows is an ass, who's she going to choose to work with? So you also have to do that for your client. You're working for your client. And the other thing is, if I know the realtor, maybe that'll give me a possible leg up. Maybe I could say, hey, why don't you tell me exactly what's going on? Where do I need to be? What do we need to do on this? Right? Relationship is everything. It's not just about you and your customer. It's about the fellow realtors. And if you don't respect your fellow realtors, karma will get you, so will the real estate gods.
Not very many. Very, very rarely. Yeah, but that's okay. I'll just keep giving. No, they do not. They do not.
Can we talk a little bit about the business that you get when those people don't understand relationships? And because I was given a question to ask you specifically about clients you pick up from agents on the other side that didn't keep in touch.
Oh, okay. and especially in today's market, holy moly, I'm just amazed. I mean, they will send the buyers, and I'm sorry if any of you guys do this. I won't be your best friend.
You're not getting a glass.
I'm not getting a glass. Thank you, Jen. So I'm amazed at the people, at the agents that don't show up for inspections, that don't show up for anything. They don't even come to closing. And we go to all the inspections. I've had buyers show up with my sellers at home with no representation because I was not aware. It's just bizarre. So what was the question, Aaron? I'm sorry.
Talking about you cleaning up when other agents don't keep the relationship going with the person on the other side.
Thank you. So over the years, many sellers and buyers have reached out to me when they were not my original customer. And I've always said to them, well, Jenn Carlisle sold you the house. You need to reach back to her. They go, well, and then they would name why. And at that time, I would call the agent and tell them they've got a loose cannon out there and they want me to work with them. I just think that's respectful. You know, it goes a long way in creating a good relationship.
I love it. Anyone else want to speak to that?
Yeah, one of the things that when someone comes to me and says, well, I had a horrible experience or I don't like my realtor, I say, why? First, you got to listen, okay? Because one, we want to make sure that this person is someone that we can work with. Are they out to lunch? You know, like what are they? But more importantly, I want to make sure that they gave that other realtor the fair opportunity. And I cannot tell you how many times where I've had that conversation, and they would tell me, well, you know, the home I wanted to see went under contract too quick, and you know, I'm like, well, were you able to see the house? No, I couldn't get there till tomorrow. I'm like, well, did they suggest to put in the offer? They did. Why didn't you? Because I wanted to see the house, but you couldn't get there till the next day. I go, does that make sense? So I try to give them the opportunity to say, it is not your realtor's fault. Or if it's a listing saying, you know, it didn't sell, and I'll say, well, tell me why. Let's talk about it. And I'll look at the price, and I'll say, listen, these are not the issues why your home hasn't sold. It is not your realtor. You need to give your realtor a little more time. Your home's been on the market for a month and a half, you know. Now, in today's market, it's a little bit different of a conversation, right? But, and I do that because I don't want a client or customer of mine having that conversation with another realtor. And I'd want another realtor to ask those questions to do that. That's, again, I'm very big on the real estate gods, and that is one of the reasons why I'm sitting up here with these amazing realtors having the success I've had, because that has always been my outlook and my mindset. And so you always have to just treat everyone with respect.
Yeah. A lot of times when they circle back around to me, the agent that sold in the property is out of business. Yes, okay.
Then you grab them.
Then there no holes barred.
Aaron, can I just add a perspective to that too?
Absolutely. I was hoping you'd add to it.
As you're a single agent, you know, you have to make a choice to be kind, right? But you have to also know you're going to be in this business for a long time. So 21 years later in Orlando, I can tell you it matters. And we've gone through up markets and down markets where if I was a listing agent, I had the power in the negotiations, or I didn't, right? And when you have the power, it's important not to bully, because when it's going to come back around and you're going to need to ask for favors from your fellow agents. But when you are growing teams, it's also important that you're hiring people that are a good mirror image of you and your beliefs and how you treat others. And you have to make it a priority for your whole team to be kind and take care of the other person on the other end. And we teach that. It was my reputation for a long time, and now our agents are out spreading our reputation exponentially, but it has to be the same experience that they experienced with me when I was a single agent. It is so important. Every word, every statement that they say, every bridge they burn, they're burning for 90 people and not just themselves. And that matters. I can tell you, it matters.
How do you make sure that they're all within the right culture, the right, treating people right? Like, how do you inform?
Well, because I'll get calls from people that will say, Jenny, she's not doing it the way I know you run your business. I get that because I have a reputation of, taking care of people. And so, people will tattle. That's how I know. But you can tattle on my agents if they don't behave.
Love it. Let's talk about.
How do I find people that are like that? Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a whole nother class, but I think it's just, we attract talent. We attract like-minded people that with servant hearts is the most important thing. I can train real estate, I need a servant heart. Somebody that's going to take care of people and wake up in the morning excited to be on other people's mission and not their own. But we just attract it. If you could, I'll call you. You can call me and I can help you with that.
Love it. I want to know what you guys are doing to ask, how you ask for referrals or if you ask for referrals. Because there's a whole bunch of questions that essentially say the same thing, and they have to do with when do you get referrals, do you ask, how do you ask, when do you ask? Let's start with you, Loretta.
I'm just naturally always asking for business. At the closing table, you know, I'm telling you, you've got to do Google reviews. At the closing table, you know, they're all happy, and I go, please, I'm going to send you a link. Please write me a Google review. If you've got anything bad to say it now. Do not, for the love of God, put it on put it on the internet. So, and then if they're not happy, you know, because you're going to get one of those, I don't even send them a Google link. But you've got to get that. I'm just always out there and just say, please say good things about me. I don't directly say, send me your referrals, because everybody says that. I just say, please say good things about me to your friends and neighbors, and shut up.
Easy.
It's easy.
How about you, Jen?
Yeah, all the time. Whenever they're happy, ask for the referral whenever they're happy. One example, I have someone, I was working with a friend who I've known for 25 years, and the husband, I was at the inspection, and he just looked at me and says, so are you doing this just for us, or do you do this for everyone? And I kind of thought a minute, because I didn't know how I should answer the question, because I wanted him to feel really special. But yeah, I do it for everyone, and I'll do it for all of your friends. Who do you know? You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's all whenever they are happy. Whenever they're happy. Who do you work with? I know that your company is hiring now. Who do you work with? Is there anyone that needs to move up, down? All of that good stuff.
Love it. You got something to add? Go ahead.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And one thing I always do is I get the kids' names and the dogs' names and the cats' names, and I put them in the database. Whenever you talk to them, you always talk about their kids' names and call them by names. And that's basically, I know it's not directly asking for referrals, but it's building that relationship so they don't forget you.
That stuff is, I wish I did all that, and I wish I'd been doing all that, and I don't do all that in terms of knowing their names. I am so bad with names, I wish, so I don't even ask, for the most part, I don't ask for anyone's names because I just can't remember anything. But I also don't ask for referrals. I specifically don't use the word referrals. We do send out a link that asks for a review that goes everywhere. I highly recommend that. There will be people that you work with that even though you know you knocked it out of the park, you know they got a screw loose, and they're not going to probably be very happy no matter what, even though you got them $60,000 in equity when they just closed. So that person you're not going to send the review to because you know that they'll probably just out of spite give you a 4-star versus the 5-star you deserve, and then whatever. But I also, you know, for me, it's about, every day I chop wood. I just go out and I just try to make it happen. And if I did a good job, those people are usually going to come back to me. I think I have in my email, at my signature, I say something like, you know, the best thing you could ever do is think of me or something like that. But you know, some people say, hey, ask for it when you have the contract signed or you're pending. It's just not something I do. I just I'm an organic guy. I like things to just happen organically. If they're happy, they're going to send people to me, and I can't tell you how much referrals I've gotten over the years.
Love it.
One thing, if I can go real quick, I think we need to train people how to give us referrals. I don't like that. I gave my friend your name. Well, your friend's probably not going to call me. They don't know me. Would it be all right with your friend if you gave me their name and number and I'll reach out to them? We have to teach people how to refer. I think that's really important.
Love it. Jenny, did you have something you were going to add?
Yeah, imagine if we did ask for referrals, how much we would be selling, right? I've never been super comfortable asking directly for a referral, but I can give you some homework. If you have a buyer right now that is looking for inventory and you don't have any inventory to sell them, go into your database, into the neighborhood that you sold a property in, call that client, you're killing one bird. 2, you ask them, hey, have you heard, you're not even asking if they want to sell. Have you heard of any neighbors selling? Have you seen any sale by owner signs in your neighborhood? I'm looking for a buyer. We have nothing to sell them. You know, if you're in your travels, when you're out walking, if you see anybody or hear anybody selling, will you let me know, please? And so you just killed two birds with one stone, right? You touched base with your database. You demonstrated that you're willing to work hard for your buyers right now in this difficult market, and you're going to uncover some inventory, right? So if you have that database organized and you use your buyer as the springboard to go market for listings.
And now that's a 2-for-1 because you just got the seller and the buyer. Hopefully.
I got a question. Oh, Jen, do you send that? No, never. Sorry. I thought. So I want to ask, especially the two of you that have bigger teams. As your teams grow and as you have more leverage, how do you continue to stay connected to your past clients in your sphere without them feeling that they always need to get you?
So you hire people that you know are better than you. So as soon as I, thinking back to my first buyer's agent, second buyer's agent, I felt like I was just doing my clients a disservice if I worked with them and didn't give them to Susan Ballou or Cindy Stein. Like, I knew that they would do a better job because I was too overloaded. I didn't have time to be in the field. I didn't have time to hunt for the inventory. So I knew that I was doing them a favor and I was taking care of them by referring them to an agent. I couldn't refer to like a brand new agent. No, you're not going to be able to because you're not going to maintain that level of service. But once you get your agents up to speed, they should be better than you. And then you have no problem referring. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, and they'll be hungrier than you too, I think, because they need more business. For me, it's not exactly a team. We're more of a group where I don't have buyers agents. It's more of we are individually building each agent on their own, their branding, and trying to get them up and running and just being a producing agent. And so I want them to build themselves. So my referrals or my past clients, if they come to me, I'm handling it. If it's a listing, I mean, that's easy, right? If it's a buyer, it depends on the price point. And am I in Las Vegas or am I in Orlando? But it's also about expectations and communicating. And it's all about what you say and how you say it. And if basically you can communicate to your customer, hey, listen, I'm going to get you with, hand-trained, hand-picked, one of my awesome showing agents. Their job is just to open the door for you and show you the home. I'm going to handle all the negotiating and all the communication, etc. But if it's one that I know needs a little bit more hand-holding, etc., or for example, Carrie, we did a deal with Jason and Krista that came from baseball, that baseball guy who I told you about, that was one of the 3 deals, and she was brand new and showing homes, but her and the wife just hit it off so well. I said, yo, just run with this, right? Because I'm still going to make my money, and any future business I'm still going to get paid on. I said, listen, take this and run with this, and let's see what you can do with it. And she's done an incredible job, so awesome job on that. But that's what it's about for us. And again, we all do it differently. You should take a little of everything from us up here and put it into what works for you. Put a little pixie dust on it, pray to the real estate gods, and watch it happen.
Love it. Let me switch to this side and ask Loretta, and then I'll ask you, Jen. For agents that are either newer to the business or have less time to worry
sphere and my past customers. I give away all my internet business. I don't care if it's $1 million lead, I give it away.
That's awesome.
I think you're more successful though if you're an agent and you're getting all these leads in. I personally like to, because I know my territory, I know my streets, and if it's Riverview, I would like to give it to Carol, who knows that neighborhood. She lives in the neighborhood. If it's in Leesburg, I would prefer to give it to, Jane Blum, because she lives in Leesburg. I think that's a much more effective way of referring out leads. Knowing your agents and what they would be best geographically.
Love it. How many of you guys have learned something from this panel so far? Make some noise or raise your hand. I've got at least 2 more questions for everybody, but real quick, I want to go around the room and just get a couple key takeaways from the room. I don't have anything to throw this month, but here's what we'll do. If you, I'll just give cash to the first few people that raise their hand and shout out something. Make this easy. So who here wants to share something you got to take away from the group? We got to get at least 3. Yep, right here. Both of you. Oh, they're gonna. Both of you go. Let's start with the blue. In the blue.
I think about, well, they were talking about relationships and farming. I hear that all across the board and respect for the other agent and vice versa. I think a lot of, and don't get me wrong, I've been doing this for 5 years, and initially I had a really bad experience joining a top producer agent. And I promised myself that if I have anybody in our office that's starting and they need help, that I will help them. And so, kudos for you guys. I love what you're doing, and I really respect you guys as an agent. So I hope that you guys are doing that for the agents. Help them out.
Love it.
I'll give you a list of my listings. We'll do a deal together.
Love it. By the way, Bryce, if you find the ladies that raise their hand, or if you find Bryce with the hat at the front and you answer one of these questions, he's going to get your info for us to send you $50. Usually we give away stuff, but we don't have anything. So how about you? You had something to share. Yeah, you were right next to her.
Okay, I'm Melissa Weathers, and I enjoy the strategies of hosting things for the community, joining in on Bunko. All right, I'm Melissa Weathers, and thank you so much for sharing. I enjoyed the relationship building, doing some Bunko, like hosting events for your neighbors, hosting the food truck and the face painting, super sweet. I love that idea, and Halloween parties, and I think that it's certainly small investments that pay off if you follow up, because the follow-up is the fortune, right?
Love it.
Thank
Let's
you.
get 2 more. In fact, sorry to offer this right after, but Lee's given up his seats to the Orlando City soccer game. So who now wants to share their big takeaway from the... Yep, right here.
This is the first time I've ever been to one where I learned something from everyone up on stage. And for being as successful as you guys all are, you're the most humble group ever on stage I've ever seen, which is amazing. I'm actually, my son always asks me, well, who'd you learn the most from when we go to any classes? And I go like, this I gotta say everyone. I mean, it was truly amazing. And you guys didn't hold back any secrets. But the bottom line is you guys care about your customer first, and then the money comes afterwards.
I love it.
So I'm really impressed. But it makes me want to, you mentioned farming, and it seems like farming is going to be more important. So that's my takeaway. I'm working on that more.
Love it. Make sure you get with Lee, because he's got some tickets. What's funny is when he started by saying this is the first time I came, I was about to say he can't win these tickets. But then he had like the perfect answer ever. So, so that was awesome. Who else? Who's got one more? Yep, right here. We'll just keep going that same. Yeah, there's all 3 of you. The other 2 ladies already answered, so.
Hi. I'm Nicole Wilbur-Brown. One of the things that I liked that Jen said was training your sphere of influence and people how to send you the referrals. Because I've just recently gotten to, and it's happened in the past, I gave your name and number to my neighbor. I gave your name and number to a friend. I'm going to be doing an estate sale for her, and gave her, but then you don't hear from them. So that was good. So training them how to send you the referral, and asking if they would just touch base with them and find out if it's okay if they shared their information with me.
Love it.
So.
Let's get one more. Yep, right here, Miranda.
I guess I don't need the microphone. I can talk pretty loud. Miranda Katie Premier Sotheby's. I think the biggest takeaway for me, I'm a lot like Lee, all gas, no brakes. I don't take time to sit down with my database the way that I should. I'm very in the moment and very present, and I know that's a hindrance to my overall business. So I think for me, listening to Jenny and hiring the right kind of admin who can keep up with me and document everything, because that's not my skill set. You can put me in a room of anybody, like 200, 500 people, I will rock it. I will collect data all day long, but I'm not good at storing it, documenting it, and tagging it. So that's my biggest takeaway if we're going to go into the next few years transitioning, having that database so you can actually farm sufficiently is key.
Love it. That's awesome. You got to find her Emily. Yeah. Right? Who, by the way, just since the irony in that is I'm saying that she needs an Emily just like Jenny. I'm literally reading off a list of questions that Emily gave me to ask the panelists today. So she's not just useful enough to keep her going, she kept me going too. Here's what I want to ask the panelists. There's a couple last ones, but if you guys have anything you want me to ask them, we've got a few more minutes. I want to know some of the things that you spent money on that made the most sense, but what I really want to know, some of the things you invested in that were not good investments that you can help save them time avoiding.
Well, I don't recommend shopping carts or movie theaters. Done that. Don't do that. But I think, it's easy to track the return. If there is a return, do it. If there's not a return, don't do it. And if it makes sense to you and who you're trying to touch, don't think twice about it. Spend the money. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I think it's important, though, I'm going to change your question a little bit and answer a different question. But I think it's important to calendar everything. So have a plan, build systems. So just a couple of examples. Back to that database, when you meet them or at closing, you get their driver's license, right? Take a picture of that and get that birthday into the database and then have a plan around that. How are you going to send them a birthday card? How are you going to do that once a month? Are you going to outsource that? What are you going to do? House anniversaries, put that date they closed in so you get a reminder. And I love the idea of the pictures. Hey, it's been 4 years. I'm thinking of you. Or while you're in that community driving around or when you're looking online for CMAs, if you see a comp in the community they sold, send them that one comp and go, hey, look at this house, what it just sold for. What a great job you did buying your home. Hope you're doing well, right? You are their expert. At closing, we take our closing statement and a Christmas ornament that we order at the beginning of the year. We put it in an envelope, and we put the sticker on the front, and we throw it in a bin. And then at the end of the year, we send out those ornaments for their tree, for their house, for their purchase of their house that year. It's a system. If you wait until, I should send a birthday card. Oh, I should do ornaments at Christmas in the middle of all the chaos. It's hard to do, but if you do it at every sale, every listing you get, you should build a blog or build something in your website because you have all of the community information. You have all the pictures of the community. Do something with it. Use each step of the way as a system to springboard you forward. Yeah, I would say, as you're going through, the relationship, they're gonna drop information. You should just always store it in your database or in your phone under notes or wherever it may be, right? But just another quick tip: in Facebook, add them to your Facebook or whatever. I know Facebook, I'm old. And in Facebook, you can choose 35 people to see their posts first. So make those your referring clients. And so if I see their post that their dog died or their mom died or their kid won an award or whatever, it's easy to go in and, message them, send them a letter, send them a note, whatever it may be. But you have to build a system around that. So the system is, who are your top 35, and make sure they're noted in your follow or Facebook. Does that
If you
make
don't
sense?
want to miss a session of Masterclass Orlando, you should make sure you star mine. Just throwing that out there. Hey, what else? Anyone else want to add to that one?
I've wasted probably over $100,000 in my real estate career on bullshit that never worked. One of the things I teach now is don't spend money. I spend money on, I got some radio running just because, and it's not really doing a whole lot, but it's not. There's other things around it with digital, so it's, I could easily pull that back. Nothing would change. But other than that, now I pretty much spend almost to no money, and one of the things I teach is invest in yourself and knowledge. That's the most important thing, right? Whether it's a virtual training coaching program that you could get, whether it's one-on-one coaching, someone in your brokerage or even someone outside your brokerage, it's good to have another voice, right? I mean, I've had a coach my entire career, an unofficial coach, but now I look back on it, I've absolutely have had that one person that has helped me get to where I am. And I continue to now make him money, and he gets to enjoy the fruits of his labor of teaching me, and vice versa. And so that's the one thing that I could say to anyone. The one thing you should be investing, most importantly, is knowledge and learning and building yourself as a realtor. And if you go out and you do it, and again, you spend a little money. That might work for you. Zillow doesn't work for me. Gifts don't work for me. But obviously they work, right? But some of the stuff that I do might also not work for you. So my point is, do a little of everything.
How about the two of you? What do you love spending money on? What do you hate spending money on?
The only thing I'm really spending money on right now is a zip code in realtor.com. I spend money and sweat equity. I get quite a lot of business off of open houses. I pick up a lot of listings from open houses. I can pick up 10 listings a year. I think that's pretty good for knocking on doors. Yeah, so that's good money. But really it is about the time, about the consistency of being in that database every day. If you're in the car, if you're on your phone, whatever, getting to know your clients, reaching out to them. Like I said, I've got that 10-year follow-up plan with my past clients. It's a call, email, text every month. So that means I'm speaking with them 4 times a year. 4 times a year I'm texting them. 4 times a year they're getting an email. And some of that's automated because I've already written it. But the phone calls. So it's the time investment. And as I said, I'm just really all about relationship. I want to get to know people deeply. How do I know the dog's name? Because the dog's right there and they just told him to shut up. So it's just really easy. But I'm very much aware of when I'm showing homes and say the wife booked it and I don't know the husband's name and they don't introduce him. Even when I say, hi, I'm Jen, they don't say anything. I'm listening like crazy. As soon as she says his name, I'm writing it down. Because I will forget it in about 2 seconds. So you can't wait. I'm writing it down on the showing sheet, whatever I've got with me.
That's awesome.
So you've got to get it down because it'll be gone.
Loretta, do you have anything to add there?
I want to encourage everyone in this room, if you haven't done it, please go take a personality test. The personality test will tell you how to communicate with each of your sellers or buyers or your clients. Like now, I know that Jenny, I know that she is a teacher. I know to be on my P's and Q's. I mean, so And Lee, I can do my dark humor with him. So, I mean, yes. So you always know your audience, no matter where you are and what space you're in. But please go take a personality course. It has made me so much money and built so many relationships. The other thing, and I'm going to go in a dark hole here, guys. You're probably going to go, oh, she is so full of it. I'm not a Facebook fan at all. It is a dark hole for me. But one thing that drives me crazy is agents posting, look what I've done, look what I've done, look what I've done, I've sold this house, I've sold this house. Because the average person out there thinks we make way too much money anyway. So when you post that you've sold a house in one day, and you've closed a house, and look at me, there's 3 people that care. That's your mother, your spouse, and your broker.
So true. So true.
So the most effective way to get the attention without drawing it to you, saying, look at me, is to get your customer to tag you on it and bring you in. That's how you do it. Don't post it yourself. be tagged.
Love it.
Can I say one thing about Facebook real quick? Facebook for me is love-hate relationship.
Yes.
I have gotten a ton of business off Facebook. I'm also a guy, I speak my mind and I don't hold back. I do it respectfully. So I've gotten into some nice volleys on Facebook, etc. A lot of people would come with the, oh, I'm never sending you business. Cool, you never did send me business. I'm no love lost there. But because of me being honest and who I am, I've gotten so much business from those people saying, you know what? Thank you for saying something, or I just love that you're yourself. Here's a $3.2 million lead, and that is a true story in Las Vegas that happened. And so just, again, anything that I've said, I've been pretty consistent, is be genuine in all you do, including social media. And the key on social media for me is tell people you're in real estate without telling them you're in real estate. Right? They're going to know. Go take a picture of a rotary phone in a house and just post it. And let people come with their ridiculous comments or whatever. And that's what I do every day in my posts. I'm purposeful in what I post and methodical. I have stuff in my phone ready to go. I have stuff on my calendar. Who says something about calendar and scheduling? You need to put everything on your calendar, and then you need to visualize everything and find out where those holes in time are. But more importantly, I have on my calendar for next week already when I'm in LA and Las Vegas. I already have 4 posts done, ready to go, that I know that I already shot that are going to be dropping because I've thought ahead, and those posts will bring in more business.
Love it. I know this is a weird question, but I got this 3 times, so I'm going to just go down the row. This is a really easy one. Which of you wear name tags and which of you don't wear name tags, and what are your thoughts on name tags?
I still wear name tags, and people are like, I'll go out to one of your events. They're like, you don't need a name tag. I'm like, yes, I do. Nobody knows who I am. I'm like a name on a piece of paper. So I think it's important to we give out polos when people join our team with Wemert Group Realty. I think it's important that you look like the professional when you're meeting people, but when you're, I would go when I was a young agent, I would go from being a realtor with my polo on or my name tag right into cheer coaching with my daughter, and I was being the best cheer coach I could be, but at the same time, the parents are saying, oh, she's a realtor. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm in my suit. I had to come from real estate. I mean, it's just who I am. I embodied it, but I would still put a magnet on my car, I would still do it if I was doing it because I didn't want people in the neighborhood to think I was a creep driving slowly around looking at their houses like, who's that lady? Well, it's a realtor, and I have a name tag and a polo on. Like, I think it's important.
I have a complete different approach on that. I have never worn a name tag and never will. I don't work at Disney. It's something I tell some of our realtors don't. I don't. If you want to, carry, hey, go ahead, wear a name tag. I also, magnets, let me tell you why magnets for me are a hard no. One of my realtors in Vegas, Kelly, who's awesome, single mom, very attractive. She had a sunscreen and a magnet with a beautiful picture on it, her personal cell phone number, obviously her license plate number. On her license plate, right? And her license number, so anyone could go find her, find out where she lives. Julia found my home address the other day on the internet, which I didn't know would happen, so that was a little scary, but totally cool. Thank you for the card, very sweet. So I told her, hey, listen, here's why I would not do that, and I think for safety concerns is a reason why people shouldn't do that. I want people to ask me, who are you and what do you do? And then, oh, well, I sell the American dream, So for me, those are reasons why I don't do it. And I just don't like jewelry, and I don't like stuff in my pockets. I don't like stuff on me. That's just a Lee G thing.
I believe in the name tag. We'll go. So far, you're going to be the deciding factor. I was with a company. I was with a larger brokerage for a decade and wore my name tag every single day because that's how people asked me. They didn't have to ask me, what do you do? They asked me, oh, you're a realtor. So it just was a little bit easier to start the conversation. I'm with a very small brokerage now, and we're like little ninjas, but we do not have name tags, but I think maybe I'll be bringing that up.
All right, real quickly before I let Loretta finish this off, if you guys want to pull out your phones right now, we just fixed the link because a lot of you are on a wait list, and now you can actually get a ticket to next month's Masterclass Orlando. So you're going to want to probably pull your phone out right now, go to MasterclassOrlando.com, grab a free ticket for next month so you don't get charged, and buy other people's breakfast. So I'll say that one more time. Go to MasterclassOrlando.com right now. You can sign up. It's July 21st, by the way. I don't know who yelled out the 16th and why I copied that, but it's July 21st. I promise you, is the third Thursday of the month. And Lee's taking a selfie, so look up and get in this shot. Anyway, so yeah, 9:30 to 11. It's on social media. We're about to announce the panel. Grab your free ticket now. We're going to charge everyone once they sell out, and they're going to sell out in like 2 seconds, I bet. So, all right, Loretta, tell us about your beliefs on the name tag.
If I have on makeup, I've got my tag on. If I don't have makeup on, my tag's not with me.
I love it.
And the other thing is this, I do not put any advertising on my car for 2 reasons. I cannot tell you how many people have called me in the past, referral from the neighbors. I want you to come to my house, tell me the value of my house. By the way, do you have anything on your car? I go, no, I do not. I get it. I do not put any advertising on my car for 2 reasons. Number 1, I have sellers that don't want their neighbors to know that they're talking to me and they're thinking of selling their house. That's the first reason. But the second reason is I don't want people to see my car parked at the bar again.
That's why you gotta do magnets, the removable.
Can we all give a giant round of applause to each of our panelists from this month's session?
I just cut people off too.
Real quickly, can we all jump up and get a quick photo with Brian right now? And that's it, guys. Thank you, guys. There's still food, by the way, up in front if you guys want some. And let's get a quick photo. Jump up, jump up. Yeah, jump up.